The Sparrows and the Fountain. Once upon a time, in the not-too-distant past, there sat a beautiful house on a beautiful street in the most beautiful town. The garden of this beautiful house had many fruit trees, plants, and flowers of different varieties. In the middle of this garden was a fountain. The fountain had 3 bowls of which the water would flow from the smaller bowl to the medium-sized bowl to the larger bowl at the bottom. Every day a group of sparrows would land in this beautiful garden and wait in line to take their baths in the bowls of the fountain. Some birds preferred the smaller bowl, some the medium-sized bowl, and others the larger bowl. There were 3 sparrows in particular that would brag about how beautiful they looked once they finished their bath. Each one preferred a different sized bowl. The sparrow that preferred the smaller bowl would go on and on about how shiny his feathers were from taking a bath in the smaller bowl. He would say that the smaller bowl has less water, but the water on top was much cleaner, and that is why his feathers were so shiny. Yes, the other sparrow would say, but just look at my feathers. They are not only shiny, but look at how smooth they are. The medium-sized bowl is the best to take a bath in because the water from the small bowl flows down on top of me and smooths my feathers out. Oh no, said the 3rd sparrow. Look at my feathers. They are not only shiny and smooth, but soft as down. Each day the 3 sparrows would argue and argue about which bowl was the best, and each day the other sparrows in the clan would gather around them and take sides. There were many birds that visited this garden, but one bird in particular would stand along the sidelines each day to observe the ensuing dispute. This bird was the crow, and he would usually come alone. The crow enjoyed watching the dispute, and one day he decided to intervene. He went to the 1st sparrow and whispered in his ear, "It is true that you have shiny feathers, but if you really want to be the most beautiful bird, then you must take your bath in the patch of dirt under the peach tree. It is magical dirt that will make your feathers not only shine, but sparkle like glitter. If you want it to work, you must arrive tomorrow when the sun is at its highest." The crow went to the other 2 sparrows one at a time and told them both the same thing, but gave each one a different time to bathe in the patch of dirt. He wanted to make sure they didn't run into one another. Each sparrow agreed with the crow to go to the patch of dirt under the peach tree the next day. The next day at noon, when the sun was at its highest, the 1st sparrow arrived at the patch of dirt under the peach tree. He rolled in it and flapped his wings until he was completely covered in soil. He thought to himself how beautiful he must have become. The other 2 sparrows did the same thing. Each arrived at a different time, and none of them knew what the other was doing, but each one believed they had become the most beautiful of all creatures. Later that day they met each other amongst their friends, but as the other sparrows of the clan looked on, they realized that something was wrong. Instead of the praise they had all expected, all they heard was laughter, laughter, and more laughter. The harsh reality had struck them. They had all been tricked by the crow. They rushed to the nearest puddle of water they found and quickly washed off the dirt. They looked at each other amazed and realized that they all looked shiny, smooth, and were incredibly soft as down. They vowed to never argue and especially to never be tricked by the crow again. The end.